Hey YouTube, now I'm going to shift focus to Pale Moon. Pale Moon is a clan that I've always liked or been a big fan of the playstyle. I like the way the deck works. It's focused on the soul, and also unlike most soul-based decks that blind soul charge, it historically doesn't blind soul charge as much, although with the new playstyle, with the Magia style particularly, which we will be showing here, the Magia deck is a lot more blind soul charge focused, which I don't really like right now, but I understand how they need to replenish the soul and keep up with the current faster pace game that exists. So basically what I have is I have my old Silverthorn deck, which got a couple of interesting upgrades, and then we've got the Magia, which is based off of the trial deck, so it's going to be the GB2 deck. And then we have the Nightmare Dolls, which will be a surprise to most people who are expecting a cookie-cutter Nightmare doll-based deck that is really hard to build right now, but mine is a lot different. I'm just going to say that right now. So if you were a fan of Nightmare Dolls, and especially if you cannot afford the really hard-to-find Nightmare Doll Alice, then you will like this deck, because this deck is a really good option for those who are not looking to build a Nightmare Doll Alice deck, but want to build a Nightmare Doll or a Workoroid deck in general. So that's going to be this one. So I think we'll do... I guess we'll do the Silverthorn one today. We'll start with Silverthorns and then we'll work our way over. So today we'll do the Silverthorn one. So Silverthorns did not actually change as much as I thought they would, although I don't know, like I feel like they could have gotten some other cards. We'll get into it, but basically the bottom line is they didn't get a new starter, so they're still kind of very much the same as how they always used to play, but they did get some pretty good new tech cards and rear guards. So start off for Silverthorn Dragon Empress Venus Luquier. So this is she's still the cross ride and really good in late game. Her limit break skill, especially counterblast 2, Silverthorn, soul charge 2, call up to 5 Pale Moon cards with a sum of the grade being 6 or less. So you can call 2 grade 2s plus 2 grade 1s and plus a 0. So you can call like 5 units that way, or you can call like lots, like 3 grade 1s, or maybe even 4 grade 1s, and a grade 2. Or any kind of combination of that. So she's been around for a while now. People know how she works, especially if you played Pale Moon. You usually didn't have a lot of choices in terms of building a competitive deck. You had to go Silverthorn. So Venus Luquier, really good. Next, 2 Silverthorn Dragon Queen Luquier reverse. So that one's the Empress, this one's the Queen apparently. 2 of her because she's a good backup grade 3. If you don't ride into Venus, then you can ride this instead. She also has cross ride with the normal Luquier, which I am running 2 of. So 2 Silverthorn Dragon Tamer Luquier. So this one's the Tamer. So this is the old one that's really hard to find now. So I'm still happy with my 4 copies of this, but I never seem to be able to build a deck to run 4 of this. Potentially you can run, if you want the cross ride to be very consistent, you can run 4 of her and 4 of this, or even 4 of her and 4 of this. It really doesn't matter because they have their own stride unit now, or they've had it for a while, but I still go with this. I was thinking of actually going 3-3-3 with the way I did my Minerva and Yggdrasil and Angelica deck, meaning 3 Venus, 3 reverse, and 3 Tamer Luquier. So let me know in the comments if you think that would be a more interesting build. 3-3-3 is definitely, it's going to be a 9 grade 3 lineup, or maybe I can do 3, 3, and 2, because honestly the reverse unit it's really good with the limit break enabler, but it's not as ideal compared to the Empress, so that's why I feel like 2 of this is fine. But I would like to sometimes run 3 of this, because I feel like it would just be better to combo this with Zelma to get like the cross ride or stuff like that. So let me know in the comments what you would suggest if you had access to like 4 of each of these. How would you build the grade 3 lineup? I'm honestly thinking of bumping up to 9 grade 3 because I don't run Stride Fodder in this deck, but yeah, so For now, it's just all 3 different grade 3 Luquiers. For grade 2, 4 Silverthorn Upright Lion. He's very essential for Silverthorns. He's how they get the big columns, big numbers. So yeah, you gotta run 4 of him. Next, 4 Silverthorn Magician Clemens. This replaced their 12k Silverthorn Beatstick, the dragon, the blue dragon thing. So because basically this is an 11k attacker, if you have a Vanguard with Luquier. So yeah, and then it also has an effect that when it hits a Vanguard, you can put in the soul if you have a Luquier Vanguard, and you can choose a card from the soul that's not named Clemens and call it out. So it potentially gets you an extra attack, and likely it doesn't use any counterblast. So it's a natural upgrade to the 12k generic thing that they were running before. Next, I am still running the 3 Mariska. Potentially, you could go with no Mariska, or even like 1 or 2 Mariska, and then run like the 12k guy if you wanted more beat stick power. But I feel like the deck has enough ways with its ability to call Upright Lions, to call Clemens, potentially even calling a random grade 3 Luquier that gets put in there from the starter. So I feel like the 12k is not really necessary anymore. This is just it's just a complete upgrade to that card. Next, we run the 4 Silverthorn Perfect Guards, because Lydia, it's Silverthorn, you need the Perfect Guards. It's the traditional Silverthorn Perfect Guards is really good. 4 Zelma, because Zelma is still like one of the main engines of the deck that really makes the deck work compared to the newer style of play for Silverthorn, or not Silverthorn, for Pelmoon. But Zelma definitely 4 of is a must-do if you want the deck to work properly. And I say that mainly because she does combo with the Upright Line, making it plus 3k additional, in addition to whatever else it would be if you were like on the stride turn, or if you were on like any of the Luquier limit break effects. So Zelma just makes it a lot better. Zelma fixes your field and does all kinds of stuff. So Zelma definitely really needs to be a 4, at least 3. 2, Anna, down from 3 to make room for some new stuff. Anna is still pretty good. Because I'm running Mariska still, I feel like Anna's better because she's the grade 1, so meaning you can put her behind the Vanguard. Usually she's the best booster behind the Vanguard. So pro tip, if you're playing this deck, you want Anna to be your Vanguard booster. So that's why we run 2 of it, kind of like how, yeah, you know, in Legion format people would run the 10k Legion. So you really only need 2 of this. It's not that essential. I mean, we've got Clemens now. Mariska's there for the rear guard lane. So yeah. Next, 2 Silverthorn Puppet Master, Euphemia. So she is a limit break enabler for Pelmoon, and the great thing about her is she's also Silverthorn, so she works with the deck. So naturally you throw her in here. She's really good with reverse, because reverse is a CB1, so you can be at like 1 or 2 damage and be able to use this with that. She's pretty decent with Venus as well, but Venus does require you to have quite a decent soul setup before her effect can actually go off, reducing the effectiveness of Euphemia. Same thing with the normal Luquier, but basically she replaces Irina, so I'm not running Irina in this build. Instead of Irina, I am running the new Silverthorn Magician Colette, because Colette is your 10k booster. So if you do not have an Anna behind the Vanguard, you can get Colette behind the Vanguard. But it is worth mentioning that Colette does combo pretty well with Clemens as well, on the turn that you call it. So you can swing 21 on a rearguard column, as a rearguard column. So that's why the artwork of these two, it kind of matches. It feels like they might almost be a Legion. So 2 of this and 4 of that guy. So the other thing worth mentioning about this is this effect occurs when you place it on R. It does not have to be placed on R from the soul. A lot of people tend to forget that, so they overlook this card. But yeah, it just requires that you have a Luquier in the yeah, then if the card put into your soul, the effect has Silverthorn, this unit gets 3k. So basically, yeah. So its effect triggers when you place it on R from your hand or soul, doesn't really matter. You soul charge 1. If you got Luquier as a Vanguard, then you, if it was a Silverthorn that got soul charged, which everything in the deck is Silverthorn. I think there's only like one card that's not Silverthorn. He's a 10k booster, so yeah. So it can be cycled with Zelma to get something else out later. So that's, or even with the Stride unit. So yeah, 2 of it is good. Potentially maybe even like 3 of it, or even 4 of it if you don't want to run the Limit Break Enabler at all. So I don't know. I may try him out at a higher number. So let me know in the comments what you would suggest for the Grade 1 lineup, because I feel like the Grade 1 lineup is the one that has the least amount of space. Like, it's hard to fit stuff in here. Zelma's so crucial, and you need a lot of tech cards that you can't really afford to run Stride fodder, I guess, unless you don't run the Limit Break Enabler. But then, I don't know. It's not Silverthorn. Stride fodder is not Silverthorn, so kind of hurts the deck in that regard. For the trigger lineup, 4 Silverthorn draws, 4 Poison Juggler is the only non-Silverthorn, and then 4 Silverthorn critical, 4 Silverthorn heal, and then the starter is still Emil. So thanks to Emil, you don't really need to use Irina. Irina does help though, because she filters the deck and puts the triggers toward the bottom of the deck. But sometimes I don't really like having to put triggers at the bottom of the deck. I mean, it has its pros and cons. If the game goes really, really long, then it's a good thing. But if you want to end the game as fast as you can, sometimes the Arena stacking triggers at the bottom is not really the best thing to do. So I feel like being able to just use Emil multiple times in the game, because you just put in the soul, and then you just call it back out with something like with the Venus effect, or with some random other effect, then you can just use it more than once. So it does defeat the purpose of running Irina, because it filters the deck a lot, and then shuffles the deck as well. So yeah, for the strides, we are running 2 Luquier, so 2 Silverthorn Dragon Master Mystique Luquier, because it's their Silverthorn stride. 2 of it is enough. You honestly won't really stride it more than 2 times in a game. You can stride into other things. 2 Amanda, because it's okay. It calls something, gives it 2k if they let it hit. 2 Clifford. He does the same thing as Amanda, except he doesn't blind soul charge 1 when his attack hits. And the other difference too is Clifford permanently calls the card. Like, he'll call something from the soul and it's permanently called out of the soul. It doesn't go back in at the end. And so that works better with Silverthorn than the Magia style. So, and then 2 Lunatech Dragon. This is like the Lambros. I call the Lambros, or the Ragnarok Dragon for Pale Moon. It's like the first major stride unit that the clan got from a booster set that doesn't really have to hit. So yeah, it's like Ragnarok and Lambros and Jingle Flower Dragon, all that stuff. So Lunatech at 2. I guess you could run 4. If you can manage to get 4, then you really just need like 1 of each of these, and then just two more Lunatech, I guess. But I only have 2 because I really feel like it's only needed to stride once, especially in Silverthorns, because you can do the Luquier stride as the first stride anyway, and then yeah, so, and then you may want to stride Luquier again to fix your field. So, but yeah, that's basically the Silverthorns. Let me know what you guys think of the deck, and Silverthorns in general, how it stacks up to other Pale Moon decks that exist right now. And looking forward to you guys' comments regarding changes you make to the deck, or if you think it's pretty good. So anyway guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.